You should be coming. You know what? Put it here under the paper. Around the opposite. Hey, give me an envelope, yes. Thank you. Do you mind moving the book? No. That's it.
The top
Cover
one?
it. Yeah. Then we get the mic. Good morning, Rabotai. Shavua Tov u'mevorach. On the 28th day of Chodesh Heshvan, corresponding to November 6, 2018. Today is election day. We encourage everyone, wherever they are, please go and exercise your democratic civic right of voting. For obvious reasons, we cannot tell you who to vote for, but vote for the best at all levels. If it has to do with tuition, security, etc. And Be'ezat Hashem, Hashem should have mercy upon all of us. Because this election, you get the emails, you get the mails, unbelievable what's going on. But let's do up the best election of the day of learning Torah for a few minutes. Last night, our city was honored to be welcoming Rabbi Eli Mansour that spoke on behalf of the Sephardic Initiative Program in Yeshivat Torat Haim and Torat Emet, that we are part of it, which is a program that is implementing Sephardic prayers, Sephardic learning, Sephardic traditions in a yeshiva that, Baruch Hashem, many of our young boys and girls go there on a regular basis. So I'll share with the Kahal certain highlights of the shiur of last night. So the topic of the class was raising children in turbulent times, which we did know that this topic is a very delicate topic, because if educating children throughout the generations was always a challenge, in our days, in the 21st century, the challenges seems to become greater and greater. And we hope that the greatness of the challenge is only a stepping stone to expedite the ultimate time, which is Mashiach's arrival. B'mira v'yameinu, amen.
Amen.
But the rabbi was very clear, and he said that the best way to educate children is by educating ourselves. Few examples, which nothing is coincidental. We believe in the concept of Hashgacha Peratit, and today's Chok LeIsrael, Perashat Toledot, Tuesday, brings the Gemara from Masechet Yevamot that says, Le'olam lo yevatel adam mimizvat pirya berivya. A man should never avoid fulfilling the mizvah. Literally means to bring children into the world. Basically means the concept of marriage. The importance of marriage, we discussed this back in Sefer Bereshit, in the beginning, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Lo tov ha'adam liot levado, it's not beneficial for men to be alone, E'aseh lo ezer kenegdo, I will make a help against him. And Rashi explains, Zacha ezer lo zacha kenegdo. If the wife is a good wife, it's a great gift to the husband, as we discussed yesterday or the day before. And if the wife is a troublemaker or a tough cookie, sometimes can, create an imbalance in the marriage, which the rabbi did speak about this topic last night. But the rabbi based his shiur in the words of Pirya Berivya. The pasuk says, Peru urbu mil'u et haaretz. Hashem sends to Adam and Hava, be fruitful and multiply and fill the land. And the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat asked one of the few questions that a person will be asked, and we discussed this last week. And one question is, Asabta v'pirya berivya? In English means, did you occupy yourself in being fruitful and multiplying yourself? So Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch asked, why the redundancy of the language? Peru urbu. Why doesn't the Gemara says Peru? Shiu lachem arbe banim, yani Abu Sabi. Have a lot of children, have a lot of girls, have a lot of boys. Why the language? Be fruitful and multiply. So Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch explains that a person must understand that the mitzvah of bringing children into the world is not limited only, the wife went to the mikveh, she became pregnant, 9 months later we had a baby boy, we did the milah, we did catering, we hired the photographer, and open up a savings account or a 529 college fund. This is not the mitzvah of Piriya Verivia. You did the materialistic aspect of it. Now we need to do the Rivia. What's the meaning of Rivia? To make sure that this child, this boy or this girl have the right tools of they themselves later on, when it comes to their own life, they will be able to transfer the message that we did as parents to them as children, because these children one day will become parents. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avot calls a child a sfog. Sfog in English means sponge. Whatever you expose the child to, that's what the child will deliver. Meaning to say, you take a sponge and you put it into a cup of milk and you squeeze it out. What color fluid is going to be? White. You put it into coffee, brown. Into water, clear. Into wine, red. Meaning to say, whatever the child is exposed to, that's what the child will be learning as a way of life. And the Rabbi brought a re'ayah from two incidents in our, no incidents I should say, two events in our Torah. And both events are related to the concept of Matan Torah. We discussed this in the night of Shavuot. The Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Har Sinai and wants to get the Torah for Am Israel. And the Malachim, the angels, they said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ma beni Yehudi isha benenu? What has to do a human among us? Understand? In other words, the Torah has been with us, and the Gemara says it, and the Zohar says it, Tatka'at Dorot, 974 generations before the creation of the world, the Torah is already in Shamayim. And now suddenly a human comes to the planet of the Martians, to the planet of the Malachim, to go ahead and receive the Torah. And Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid. Why? Because when the Malachim talk, you know, one of the names of the Malachim is Seraphim. Seraphim, it's a very lofty level of a Malach. But those who understand Hebrew, what's the meaning of the word Seraphim, of the word Soref? Burn. So meaning to say that when the Malachim speak, they spit out fire. And Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid. Look at the Malachim, they're ganging up against me. What does Borei Olam says to the Malachim? To Moshe Rabbeinu rather. Moshe, hold yourself to the leg of my throne and start answer to the Malachim. And there was like a back and forth, like ping pong, questions and answers. And Baruch Hashem, the end result was that Moshe Rabbeinu defeated the Malachim 10-0. I'm not talking about soccer or basketball. I'm talking about Malachim and Moshe. What was the foundation of Moshe's claim against the Malachim? The 10 Commandments. Let's talk about a few of them. For example, Moshe Rabbeinu said, the Torah says in the 10 Commandments, right? Kaved et avicha ve'et imecha. Honor your parents. Are Malachim humans or Malachim are a godly creation? Are godly creation. So for them to honor parents, it's something that will never happen in their life. Another question, work 7 days and on the 7th day rest. On Shabbat, rest. What, Malachim have a work schedule? We have a work schedule. As humans, we know there is a time for Shaharit, there is a time for Minha, there is a time for Arvit, there is a time that the office is open, there is a time that the business is open, there is a time that the bank is open, and there is a time that we go home and go to sleep. But Malachim don't have a work schedule, don't have vacation time, don't have Cobra coverage, they don't require health insurance, they don't need anything. They are soldiers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And back and forth, question, answers. Finally, the Malachim released the Torah, and the Torah was given to Am Israel. And this is one of the reasons also why Malachim don't teach Torah to Am Israel. Who teaches Torah to Am Israel? A human person. A teacher in the school, a Rabbi in the yeshiva, a rabbi in the synagogue, a more in the kitab. Why not Malachim? If Malachim are so lofty that Malachim are above Moshe Rabbeinu even, why don't the Malachim becomes the teachers of Am Israel? Although there is some exceptions that certain Malachim taught Torah to certain limited tzaddikim, but overall, Torah is taught by humans, from humans to humans. So to answer that, we need to go back quickly to one pasuk in Matan Torah. The pasuk tells us, "V'chol ha'am ro'im et hakolot," and all the nation, all of Am Israel, see the voices. And in this pasuk, we learn two things. Number one, that everyone that was blind was cured, and they were able to see. Miracle number one. Miracle number two, that you were able to see the voice. I ask you a question. I'm talking now. Can you see the voice? No. Unless you have closed caption, right? CC, you don't really see the writing. But al pi teva, on a natural way, when we speak, we don't see the voice. We hear the voice. So why the pasuk says, "Bechol ha'am ro'im et hakolot"? So our rabbis tell us, going back to Rabbeinu Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, that this pasuk is teaching us a valuable lesson when it comes to the concept of chinuch, to the topic of education. That is not enough to tell our children, but we must show our children. As rabbis, as teachers, as parents. Don't think because I'm doing the talking here that all of you are exempt. You are the rabbi of your home. No, relax. You're not the rabbi of your home. You're the father of the home. If you're going to write your own Shulchan Aruch, then we're going to be in trouble. Okay? Let the rabbis do the rabbinate work. But you are in charge of your home. You and your wife, let's clarify this. We're not splitting the responsibility. You work on one and they work on the other. Of course, certain things maybe. But as far as concerned, showing kavod, showing love, showing respect, treating each other in a proper way, and setting a good example. You know, in English, they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I can say 1,000 words, and I can show you a picture. The picture does more than the words. The same thing with good example as parents. When we show kavod to one another, between husband and wife, the kids will be respecting the parents. And the kids, hopefully, Be'ezat Hashem, will be respecting the brothers and sisters. But if they see that we as parents, husbands or wives, we fight with our mother, we fight with our sister-in-law, we fight with our husband, we fight with our wives. So what do you think that they absorb? What are the kolot? The kolot means it's good to argue. It's good to fight. Or you tell your child, why don't you pray better? And you're talking in the middle of the Hazara. Or you tell your daughter, why don't you dress with senyut? And the mother wears garments which are not suitable for a Jewish home, to put it mildly. By the way, the rabbi did speak about this topic, which I'll get there in a moment. And that's why the Torah says, Ro'im et hakolot. The actions must match the speech. In other words, if you tell a child, behave good during tefillah, don't run around, that means that we as parents, we need to show our children what does it mean, kedushat, kavod, bet, hakneset. You cannot tell exactly, practice what you preach. You cannot tell the child, why do you lie? Why do you curse? And then somebody calls to ask for you, tell them that I'm not home. You tell the child, don't lie, and 5 minutes later, somebody calls for a collection. or for something, tell them that I'm not home. Right. Abba Amar Ani Lo Babayit. My father said that he's not home in English. Do you understand? And that's the meaning of Rabbeinu Shimshon Raphael Hirsch says, Ro'im et hakolot. The words and the actions must match. Because the moment that there is a separation in don't do as I do as I say, right? There is such a statement in English, right? Don't do as I do as I say. Guess what? In Hinuch, in education of children, that is the worst enemy that we can have. This was part one of the rabbi's speech. The rabbi pinpointed a couple of challenges that, Baruch Hashem, I was happy that he did speak about this because he only reinforced what we spoke to the Kahal in the past. The rabbi spoke about the great challenges that our generation is experiencing. And no one can deny that technology is good, but technology can also be a Gehinnom. And he said something very interesting, that today, and I repeat, he didn't say don't use a cell phone. He didn't say don't use technology, but he says make sure to establish your parameters, or your perimeter road, or your safety net. If it means tagging the phone, tag, it's a wonderful Jewish institution that kasherizes your cell phone. Doesn't take it to the mikveh, relax. Doesn't take the phone to the mikveh. Somebody did that by the way the other day. I said, are you crazy? He says that my phone has so much tum'ah that I wanted to dip it into the mikveh. I said, you know what? Say kaddish on the phone, make ashkava, because taking the cell phone into the water and then 40 dips, hatati, aviti, pashati, yashabnu, bagadnu, it says, it doesn't help. Don't try this at home. Don't destroy the phone. Don't dip it into the water. But we need to be careful, Rabotai. Let's be honest. So the rabbi mentioned a sad story that happened during the summer up north. Apparently, a teenage boy went with a group of friends to a kosher meat restaurant. And they ordered apparently a hamburger, a sandwich. And what do? They took the sandwich. They did not eat the sandwich. They let it outside of the home for 3 days. Wait till the sandwich became a bit warmy. And they took a picture and they put it on Facebook. Beware of this restaurant. We found worms in our sandwich. Guess what? The store closed down. The person lost his parnasah. His reputation was shattered. And what was the end of the story? The young man called to apologize. I ask you a question. Hazaku Baruch. Even if he apologizes, according to the halakha, a person that hurt another person financially, there are two things you must do. A, you must ask for forgiveness, and then you must reimburse the victim. Now I ask you a question, you in the world of business. How do you assess a kosher restaurant income in the summer in Deal, New Jersey? Which I believe somewhere in New Jersey, maybe it's in Lakewood, maybe it's in Long Branch, I don't know. I just said Deal because that's where many people go. How do you assess the financial damage for such a prank? You probably need to go back a year, or you need to make a calculation. How did you do till this day? And multiply by the days that you were closed. I don't want to be in this boy's shoes. Because this type of prank or foolish type of attitude could destroy a person's life and have a domino effect that we don't see it today. We don't see it today. Of course, take him to the bedin, give him malkut, take him to the court. There's a lot of things that can be done. But guess what? For the first few days, this person couldn't walk into the shul. He was embarrassed because he was accused of selling rotten meat, when actually was a very, very negative thing of doing. So the Rabbi spoke about the dangers of, children, parents being oblivious, or parents being naive and not really understand that as much as a good father and a good mother you are, but we cannot control our kids. What happens at night when they are sleeping in the bedroom? Who do they see in school? That's why in many schools now, they are, even the schools that have mixed boys and girls, they're making it mandatory. Some schools are taking the cell phones to filter them. Why? There was issues with inappropriate relationships, Haz v'shalom, that developed virtually. We discussed this a few weeks ago, with a new addiction that many children and adults have by a game called Fortnite. And the Rabbi mentioned about a child that for 3 days didn't eat, playing constantly, and another child stealing a credit card from the mother to register and to buy lifelines and to buy weapons and to buy heads and to buy body parts. I mean, this is the type of technology that the dark, there is something called the dark web. Don't look for it, but there is such a thing. There is also the dark part of technology. You understand? Part of the technology is very good, but part of the technology is a disaster. How anti-Semitism, right? Let's talk about it for a moment. If social media will not exist, anti-Semitism probably will be much less calmer than it is today. But unfortunately, with technology, with webs and different things that happen in 1 second. Sure, when Mashiach comes, 30, 40 years ago, people were asking, Rabbi, how are we going to know that Mashiach came? And I always had this question as a child. So when the fax came out, I understood a bit better. When the cell phone came out, I understood even a bit better. But now that Baruch Hashem, that everybody has a cell phone and WhatsApp and text messages, obviously in 1 second, we finish the class here now. In 10 minutes or 5 minutes after the class, already I don't know how many groups get the class. Now people watching live, I don't know where they from today. Where are they from today? Where are the
numbers?
No, not the numbers, the people from.
Oh, it doesn't show.
All over. You can be in Australia, you can be in Japan, you can be in Saudi Arabia, by the way. We got the other day an email from Iran. Okay? How do I register to your classes? I said, what's your name? Khomeini? Anyways, it was a friend of mine that originally is from Iran, so all kosher, but lives in the West Coast. Okay, that's where the bulk of the Persian community is. Wonderful community, Baruch Hashem. But that was what some of the topics the Rabbi spoke last night. So spoke about controlling technology for adults also. Putting a mechitza, like you put a cover for the tefillin, you dress properly to pray. We need to make sure that we don't cross boundaries that Haz v'shalom can kill a person. That's why there are so many today Jewish recovery programs for tum'ah addiction. There is such a thing. There is a website called Guard Your Eyes, Shemirat Ha'einayim. You register, they help you, they give you free counseling, they give you tools how to overcome the nisayon, which I hope and pray that no one has this issue, but we need to be honest with ourselves. Another topic the great Rabbi spoke about was about the topic of seniut, modesty. Modesty, as we know, usually most of us relate to modesty when it comes to the dress code, right? Length, short, how loose, how tight it is, which is obviously an important element in life. Why? Because the proper modesty from the wife specifically, it attracts kedusha into the home. It attracts kedusha into the children. The mother cannot say to the daughter, no, that skirt is too short, and she wears that same length skirt. You understand? You cannot wear such a tight shirt. The topic of proper dress code. We're not talking there, that's not our style. Decorum, be a ben adam, be mechubad. Okay? Another topic the Rabbi mentioned was about seni'ut in how we speak. Meaning to say, this topic yesterday. Remember yesterday we spoke about one of the things that bring poverty to the person? That when the wife curses the husband, or when the husband curses how they speak, that also has an influence. Why? I'm going to say something from Perashah Shofetim, I believe. The Pasuk tells us that when a Jewish soldier, the Rabbi didn't say this last night, but I think that it's important to remember this Pasuk because it will supplement and reinforce everything the Rabbi said. And the Pasuk says about Jewish soldiers, when they travel in the battlefield, besides the weapons and whatever they carry, they needed to have a miniature shovel. The Pasuk says, Bechisita etzeatecha. You must cover whatever comes out from you. The Pasuk continues, Ve'aya mahanecha kadosh. Your camp needs to be holy. Mahanecha means your home also. Your home is your mahane. Although in Spanish, mahane means campamento, right? But mahane also means your camping place. Where do you park at night? In your building. Where do you camp every night? In your building, in your home. You may not have a tent, but you have your bed, you have your roof, you have your door, you have your wife, you have your bathroom. That's the concept of Vehaya Mahanecha Kadosh. And listen to the next part of the Pasuk. Velo yira'e becha ervat davar beshav me'acharecha. So Hashem will not see the nakedness. Listen to the words. Ervat means the seni'ut, the nakedness, davar of your speech. Beshav me'acharecha. And God says, I can't be with you. I need to take a step back. So the Torah hints to us that we as Yehudim, we need to keep our homes holy. How do you do that? The Torah tells you a message. Two ways. Dress code and how do you speak. How do you speak? That's why Arvat Davar. Davar in English means matter. But Davar means also Dibur. The nakedness of the Dibur. You can talk dressed up or you can talk in a naked manner. How do you talk dressed up and how do you talk naked? That doesn't mean you talk when your body is naked or you talk when your body is dressed. It means when you talk properly, clean, respectfully, in a proper way, you talk with elegance. But when you talk naked, yani, without a filter, without a stop sign, without brakes, you don't talk. It's a sewer. It's comparable to what? To the purpose of the shovel. What do you use a shovel for? Do you know what you use a shovel for? So when you go to the bathroom and do number 2, you make a hole and you cover the hole. So you know what the Torah is telling you? And I know that it's going to sound a bit offensive, but the sewer is not down the plumbing system. The sewer can be our own mouth. And you know what goes in the sewer? Everything that is not clean, that is not healthy, that is not good, that has a bad smell. And the Torah is telling us, Rabotai, you don't have to fast 7 days a week and wear 4 pairs of tefillin every day and do ta'anit every Monday and Thursday. Leave that for the heavyweights at the king of the world. Do the basics. Speak clean, speak properly, act nice, be respectful. Show kavod to your wife, the wife to show kavod to the husband. And that's why the Gemara of today, this was only the introduction to the Gemara of today. 2 words. pirya verivya. Now we understand why the Torah says, Asakta vepirya verivya. Asakta, did you toil with being fruitful and multiply? The Gemara, if you ask me, if I'm writing the Gemara, I would have said, Hayu lecha yeladim? Did you have children? But the Gemara didn't say that. Asakta. In the Haggadah of Pesach, what do we say? Et amalenu elu habanim. If somebody asks you, what is the most challenging chapter of your life? The Haggadah of Pesach tells you, being a father, being a mother, that is the most powerful area in the life of a person. At least in the first 10, 20 years of marriage. Hopefully, Be'ezat Hashem, we did a great job from the early days. So as the children go and grow up and grow up and grow up, Be'ezat Hashem, they will become parents themselves. And whatever good we taught them, they will have. It's like also the Rabbi mentioned Akedat Ishak. Akedat Ishak. It says, the Torah tells us that Abraham Avinu is being told by Hashem, take your son and do the Akedah. And we see that Ishak Avinu follows Abraham like a sheep. And imagine yourself, you are Ishak Avinu. You are 37 years old. Your father is 100 years old. And now he's telling you, we're going to do a barbecue today, son. Let's go to have a good time. Okay, Dad, where is the beef? Like the Perashah says, Me'ain lanu basar, ayya ola. Where is the beef? Abraham Avinu says, you are the korban. Okay, vayelechu shenehem yahdav. And they both went together. Yahdav means keish echad belev echad. There was no secondary thoughts. And the question was being asked, how didn't Ishak Avinu escape? He should have escaped. Al pi sechel, you want to do a korban? Get Ishmael. I help you get Ishmael. Take Ishmael, do shechita to Ishmael. But Ishak Avinu, the pasuk says, vayelechu shenehem. So it says the answer is found in the moment of Vayikra elav malach Hashem min hashamayim. Vayomer, Abraham, Abraham, Vayomer inneni. The pasuk tells us that the pasuk calls Abraham Avinu twice. Abraham, Abraham. Why the redundancy in the name of Abraham? It says, Abraham, you know, your wife calls you twice. My wife sometimes calls me 4 times. Yosef, yes, 1 minute, I'm finished texting. Yosef, Yosef. You understand? But the Torah, every word of the Torah, every letter of the Torah is calculated and accounted for. So why the Torah calls Abraham twice? Well, Abraham didn't listen? Of course he did. But the Torah is certifying. You know, where do we see Abraham's success as a father? When Ishak follows the footsteps of Abraham Avinu. And that's why the pasuk says, Abraham, Abraham. Now we have 2 Abrahams. Abraham, Abraham Avinu, and Abraham Avinu in Ishak Avinu. And this is how Yaakov was. Yaakov, Yaakov. Not every Sadiq happens to have twice their name mentioned together. That doesn't mean, Haz v'shalom, that they were not great Sadiqim. But there are lessons that happen. It's like the Rabbi mentioned yesterday. The Malach of Esav attacks Yaakov throughout the night. Right? Vayar ki lo yachol lo. And Malach saw that he's not able to defeat Yaakov Avinu. Vayiga bechafierech yerecho. And it says, you know what? I'm not going to be able to hurt Yaakov. Let me wound the thigh of Yaakov. And the great Rabbi explained, why from all the parts of the body was Yaakov wounded by the hip? And the Rabbi gave a great answer, because the cell phone goes on the hip of the person. And this is how the Yetzer Hara bothers the person. I know that it sounds funny, but it makes a lot of sense. Where most of us carry the cell phone? Right on the right side of the hip. It says this is how the Yetzer Hara sometimes comes to the hip of the person of Yaakov. Now doesn't mean now now you're going to say, Rabbi, from now on I'm going to put my cell phone on my right back pocket. You still are on the hip. You're going to put it in my front pocket. You still are connected to the hip. I usually put it on my jacket. It's close to the hip. I mean, the message what the rabbi said was that there was a time in history that for the person to encounter the Yetzer Hara, you needed to go to the ring side of life and meet him in a corner. Meeting him in a corner. Today, he sleeps with us. You know, sleeping with the enemy. Have you heard of this expression? Sleeping with the enemy. It's a movie? I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, he's telling us there is a movie. Okay, thank you. So this is basically sleeping with the enemy. Again, can we divorce ourselves from the cell phone today? No. Today, somebody calls you, you don't pick up 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You know, they call it Salah, they call 911, they track you down. Okay? And again, we're not trying, Haz v'shalom, to tell the phone, you know, get rid of it. We need it. Today, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, many people today don't have landlines in their home. Right? They use a cell phone. Who needs landline? You know, so a few years ago, or maybe still is, the postal office is in bankruptcy due to free shipping of many companies, due to emails, text messages, WhatsApp. Who mails a letter today? Occasionally we do. Who mails a check? Most people today, they use online. Okay, maybe there is a segment of the people that still do the old-fashioned way, which is fine. But guess what? The post office says people stop sending letters. People start sending postcards. Guess what? We need to file for bankruptcy. We need to increase the cost of the stamp. Guess what? Phone companies are experiencing the same trend. That's why many regular landlines are offering now cell service. Why they do it? Because if they don't move with the time, they're going to say Kaddish like the post office. So we understand that is a necessity. But it's important, Rabotai, that we keep with Ashgaha. Like you, Makpid, in Beit Yosef, Halav Israel, Yashan, also make sure that all your surfing is in a kosher way. Today, surfing doesn't mean going to the ocean like they do in California. It means surfing the web the way the new vocabulary of our days is. So I think the lesson of today's brief description of Rabbi Mansur's great class should serve as Hashem an inspiration for all of us. Amen. Now, I'm going to share, with your permission, we have another 5 minutes if you don't mind, an interesting Gemara from Masechet Yevamot. So we already know that remaining single in life is not the ideal. That's not the purpose of the creation of the world. And the Gemara today uses a very, how can I say this? Strong but encouraging statement. And I say the word strong because if you listen to what's written, it's a very sad statement. But Be'ezat Hashem will discuss better soon and will enhance it right away. Amar Rabbi, the Gemara talks about the benefits of marriage. Yes, sometimes marriage can be a roller coaster of emotions. Marriage can have ups and downs. But we understand that from a halachic perspective, from a Torah perspective, from a spiritual perspective, marriage is an essential part to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And let's read the Gemara. Let's do the Gemara, do the talking. Amar Lebi Tanhum, Amar Lebi Hanilai. כל אדם שאין לו אישה. A man that has no wife. שרוי בלא שמחה. Cannot truly experience happiness in life. בלא ברכה. Without much blessing. בלא טובה. Without goodness. Now, you may say right away, Rabbi, hold on. You throw me a bazooka, AK-47, and an Uzi machine. You're telling me that if I'm single, I'm not a human? We're getting there. Continues the Gemara and it says, where do we learn that there is no happiness when a person is not married? And as somebody involved in the shidduchim, helping people, I tell you, the huge difference in the personality of the person before getting engaged and married and after. Why? Because it gives you a purpose of what do you do, who are you doing it for. Somebody waits for you at home. Somebody calls you, how is the day? You know, is a lady complained to me, Rabbi, my husband is out of town and for 4 days doesn't call me. So I called the husband, are you alive? Yeah, why you call me, Rabbi? Because your wife says that she didn't hear from me 4 days. How come? I put money in the account. I said to him, do you think that this is what your wife is waiting for? That you put $200 or $500 in the account? She wants to hear your voice. Even to say good morning, even to say good night. It's like somebody asked me, somebody single, that took a break in a shidduch. In other words, they went one day, they took 2 days break, and then they're going to go out again. And the person asked me, Rabbi, am I allowed to text the girl by saying to her good night, or say good morning, or say Shabbat Shalom, or have a great day, I was thinking of you? I said, how many times did you go out already? 7. I said, are you not engaged yet? Obviously, it's a joke. You don't get engaged 7 times. But you still need to have a break to think if she's suitable for you. We're talking about observant people. I said, if your heart tells you, I miss her, and I want to say to her, good morning, or good day, you have a great day, or was thinking of you, guess what? This is what inflates, so to speak, ignites rather, that's a proper word, ignites the relationship. And the Gemara says, where do we learn that happiness and marriage are partners? Besamachta ata ubetecha. You're going to be happy during the holiday, the Pasuk says, you and your home. And Rashi says in Sefer Vayikra, Betu zo ishto. Beto zu ishto. The wife is the home. Velo beracha, without blessing. Dichtiv, leaniach beracha el betecha, famous pasuk from Yehezkel and Navi to say, to place the blessing in your home. This refers to your wife. Without goodness, dichtiv lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. It's not good for the man to remain single. So if the Torah already is telling you it's not right for the, it's not proper for the man to remain single, so we understand the concept of goodness. But since I know that we have a few single men and ladies in the audience, it doesn't mean that the first girl or boy that's going to come through the door, you're going to marry them. But a person needs to make a bit of ishtadlut. Ishtadlut, although marriage, a person may say, listen, God owes me one. God announced the day that I was conceived 40 days before that I have my shidduch waiting for me. True, God announced it. But the Gemara asks, who looks for whom? Does who looks for a lost wallet? The wallet or the owner of the wallet? The owner. Haz v'shalom. I'm not saying that ladies are a wallet. I know what you're just saying. Some of them are. I know what you're just saying. I know. I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
Visa.
Visa, right? another Hacham. Okay? But thank God, and I hope that the video only shows me and doesn't show the physical audience. Don't turn the camera, please. Don't try this at home. Haz v'shalom. Maybe you should move 3 inches more to the left. So the zoom is limited only to this part of the video. But on a more serious note, the Gemara says, the husband, the man, must make the effort. Why? The books of Shalom Bayit explain that you know who needs to get married more? The man, more than the wife. Because the wife is the one who supplements the soul of the husband. That's why the other opinion the Gemara will tell you is, Lo b'nei Adam, he's not even a human, he's half a human, half a creation. And again, single boys or single men, don't take it the wrong way. A person must make an ishtadlut. A person, you see someone, Rabbi, please help me, do you know a girl this? How many times we try? And does it mean that every time we try, we have a happy ending? No. But guess what? We're not sitting ducks. We're not just sitting and waiting till the blue prince will knock on the door. Or the beautiful girl that you're waiting for will be looking for you. Very random that happens. So therefore, making an effort is important. Go out. Speak to your friends. Speak to your rabbi. Speak to me. I'm sure you know a lot of rabbis. Shilach lachmecha al penei hamayim. I do this for my kids. I do it for others. I do it for your kids, for your grandkids. Constantly. There is barely a week that doesn't go by that people don't call for shidduchim. Sometimes first round, sometimes second round. The other day I had a third round wedding. I said I need to be careful. Third round, I need to find out more details. Hazakah, right? Don't run to do the mitzvah of giving a get. God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. Haz v'shalom. And praying. Tefillah. Hashem, like Elimelech, Mechila Eliezer. What did Eliezer do the other day? Pray. Pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Send me one. The Gemara discusses, and I'm sure that the ladies are going to love this next paragraph. The question that I need to ask the audience is, if I should continue 4 more minutes, or I should stop the class now. Continue. So the unanimous answer was continue. I wasn't waiting for your answer, but
you were going to continue.
Yes, I need to continue. I can't stop because I have a wonderful, faithful audience that wants to become better and wants to do what's right and wants to have more meaningful life. So I'll finish the Gemara with the following technique for a happy marriage. We all want a happy marriage. I don't think that there is a person in the world that does not want to have a happy marriage. We all want. Some people work on it, some people try to buy it, but that doesn't always work. Let's see the Gemara formula that I think that if, Be'ezat Hashem, we are able to activate it to the best of our abilities, you'll see great things in your life. Which obviously, going back to the opening statement of today's class, not only is going to benefit us, but it's going to benefit our children as well. Tanu Rabbanan, our rabbis learned, Aohev et ishto kegufo. A man who loves his wife like he loves himself. There is a mitzvah ta'aseh midei Torah that says ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Okay? Love your fellow friend as yourself. So according to this Gemara, who is the Torah talking about? Your wife. Most of us say, love your friends. I ask you a question. Are you going to love every of your friends like you love yourself today? You think that's so easy? I ask you. Yes, you have friends. You have relatives. Do you love them like you love yourself? Or you love them because they are your friend? Because they are your friend. So you know what the Gemara is telling us? That this pasuk refers to your wife. Love your wife like you love yourself. והמכבדה יותר מגופו. And the one who honors his wife more than what you honor yourself. You spend 100 on you, 200 on her. You spend 200 on you, 400 on her. Ladies, I'm very generous today. I know they're listening. And the numbers is only an example. Meaning to say, you cannot buy a suit in Macy's or in Bloomingdale's or whatever store you buy a suit, pay $300-400 or $200 on a special, and then you tell her, go to Burlington and buy yourself a skirt for the holiday. You have always specials: Ross, Burlington, Target. Like the same way your hands doesn't shake to slide a credit card for a $400 suit, tell your wife in honor of the holidays, go buy yourself something nice. Or whatever happy occasion there is. That's part of giving kavod to the wife. והמדריך בניו ובנותיו בדרך ישרה. And the person who educates the children in the proper way. What does it mean, educating the children? The Mefarshim tell us that this particular sentence of the Gemara carries a lot of messages. Number one, education, as we discussed before. But number two, make sure that they get married at a young age. For many reasons. Of holiness, of purity, etc. Be'amasiyan samuch lepirkan. And they get married at the young age. Don't delay it, etc. The Gemara gives a guarantee from the following pasuk that says, Biyadata, from Mishle, Ki shalom ohalecha, and you will know that there is peace in your home. How? So listen to the pirush that says, Sheshalom bayit nosad al ahava ish beishto. It says, because shalom bayit requires a foundation of love. Belod darech teva. But not, oh, I have a clique. I don't have a clique. I have feelings. I don't have feelings. You know what it says? You want to ignite the fire of love in your home? Here gives you the formula. Bederech kavod amiti shemechaveda. You want to ignite the love of your wife to the husband and the husband to the wife? Respect. Mutual respect. Mutual respect. But interesting enough, if you follow the language of the Gemara, and the ladies are going to love what I'm going to say now, and I hope they don't take advantage of my innocent statement. The Gemara mentioned that who needs to do all the work? The husband. Interesting enough that the Gemara says that the husband needs to do, the husband needs to perform, the husband needs to give. You know why the Gemara attributes all this to the husbands? In Kabbalistic terms, the husband is called the mashpia, the giver, and the wife is the mekabelet, the one that receives. I will have to bring a halachic example to illustrate this, and I apologize if somebody finds it rated R. But in the mitzvah of the relationship between husband and wife, what is the proper halachic way of intimacy? The husband looks at the wife. The wife's back is on the bed and the husband is on top. Why? Why like that? Short answer, because when the wife looks at the husband during this moment of holiness, she's looking at who she came from. And when the husband looks at the wife, and the husband is looking at where he came from, meaning to say, The success of the husband is on the merit of the wife. And that's why the zera of the husband leaves the body of the husband and enters into the body of the wife. The husband again is the mashpia. The husband is the one who gives, and the wife is the one that receives. You want to receive love? That's why the word ahava, which means love, the two middle letters are the word hab. Hab means to give. You want to receive in marriage, you need to be a giver. The more love you give, the more compliments you give, the more affection you give, the more words of encouragement you give, you're going to have a boomerang effect in a good way. But if you are Tisha B'Av, and you're complaining, and you're negative, and you always say a hejje of wine not good, guess what? What do you think you're going to get? You're going to get poison back. So meaning to say, Haz v'shalom, God forbid. God forbid. This reminds me of a story of a husband that goes to the rabbi and it says, Rabbi, my wife is poisoning me. I'm not sure if you heard this story. The husband says to the rabbi, Rabbi, my wife is poisoning me. What should I do? The rabbi says, I don't believe you. He says, talk to her. He spoke to the rabbi for 4 hours. The rabbi spoke to this lady, Shalom Bayit, Kedusha, Shalom Bayit. So after the 4 hours, the husband came to the rabbi and he says, Rabbi, no, what do I do? He says, if it's me, keep drinking it. Take the poison. Haz v'shalom. Dear ladies, you carry a bigger responsibility than you imagine. This is the reason why on Friday night, I'm sure everybody does at home, what do we say? Eshet Hayim. Eshet Hayim means the famous composition of Shlomo HaMelech. There is one time that Ish Hayil is found. In the book of Melachim, Ubneyahu ben Yoyada ben Ish Hayil, Mikapsiel. But usually we say Eshet Hayil, a righteous, a virtuous woman. May Hashem help us that husband and wife, individually and collectively, cherish the zechut that they have of being married, and they should build a relationship and the lives of the children. And we bless all the single men and women that Hashem, Be'ezat Hashem, should send them the right zibuk. Don't be afraid of going out. Don't be afraid. Sometimes the picture may not be perfect, but are we perfect? Just check the basics. No mental issues, no addictions, and start going out. Who knows? Be'ezat Hashem, Hashem should send each and every one the Yeshua, the Shidduch, B'mira b'yameinu. Amen.